You hear the click, 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 click of the chain as you inch closer and closer to the top of the hill, your anticipation growing inside you. You look down the 200-foot drop of the winding, twirling tracks below, and even though fear is overtaking your body, you throw your arms in the air and feel the rush of excitement as you race down the tracks at unbelievable speeds. Roller coasters have been around for centuries, one growing more exciting than the preceding coaster. And they're known as thrill rides because that is their purpose, to thrill. Or as the definition, according to Merriam-Webster's online dictionary says, to experience a sudden sharp excitement or a sudden wave of emotion. After recently traveling to an amusement park, I decided I want to know more information about roller coasters. So after doing this, and along with my personal experience, I think that my understanding of them has become that much more clear. Roller coasters are a broad topic, and there's simply too much to cover. But I think with these few key points, you can understand the basics of roller coasters. First, it's important to know the history, because without the history or where it came from, you don't understand where it is today, or how it got to where it is today. Second, you need to know how the coasters have changed over the years. And finally, I think it's the most important fact about coasters is why coasters are being built the way they are today. And what I mean by this is they're being built to become record breakers. When people talk about roller coasters, they always talk about the loops or the speed, but it wasn't always like that. A good while ago, just the simple idea of roller coasters being built in the first place was exciting enough. Roller coasters started earlier than most people believe. In fact, the first roller coaster started in the 17th century. The Russian ice slides was the title that is credited to the first roller coaster. Although I wouldn't personally call it a roller coaster because, according to UltimateRollerCoasters.com, the ice slides were made up of lumber and ice, and it was called what they called a slide ride, which is a slide. There were stairs on one side and a 50-foot drop on the other, or 50-foot hill on the other. These slide-type coasters continue to be built over the years, although there were a few changes in the process. In 1817, they added wheels to the cars that you rolled down in, becoming an actual roller coaster. It might not seem exciting, but if you think about it, without these ideas of the coasters, we wouldn't be where we were today. It was also not only the ideas, but the advancements in creativity over the years that got us to where we are today. The continuation of roller coasters got more and more inventive. Referring back to that same source I stated, the slide rides went from being slides to trolley parks, which is where they had roller coasters that were simply trains that rolled back and forth on hills, on the tracks that were hills. So, not only this, but then later on in the later years, in the roaring 20s, roller coaster design became immensely popular. Thanks to designers such as John A. Miller, you now saw more of your typical modern day roller coasters being built. You may have even heard some of the roller coasters known as the Jackrabbit or the Racer, which is just your typical wooden roller coaster you would see today. Not only with the increasing popularity of roller coaster design, also came the popularity of amusement parks. And as the years went by, the coasters, from the way the coasters used to be to the way the coasters are now, the reasoning behind them stayed the same. It was just simply tweaked a little bit. Like I said, the reasoning behind roller coasters was the excitement or the thrill. And year by year, designers accomplished this, but in the recent years, the way they did this was through breaking records. So amusement parks today do better if they have roller coasters that are current record holders. Because what we want in a theme park is to search for that roller coaster to give us the new adrenaline rush. According to RCDB.com, or the Roller Coaster Database, there are 4 categories, and within those categories, a top 10 list of each ways you can be a record holder. The first category is speed, which is a true test of intensity, because the faster you go, the more your heart races, which makes this the most intense roller coaster. The top 10, or the top fastest roller coaster is the Ring Racer in Nuremberg, Germany, going 134 miles per hour, although it is not currently operating, making the fastest roller coaster currently operating the King Ka at Six Flags Adventure in New Jersey, going racing 128 miles per hour. Height is the second category because you get that chill down your spine the higher you are, making this the spine-tingling record. The King de Ka is also the highest roller coaster, peaking at 426 feet. The third category is the drop category. This category gives you that feeling in the pit of your stomach, making this the gut-wrenching category. Again, the top roller coaster with the steepest, tallest drop is the King de Ka, dropping at 408 feet, making this roller coaster what I think to be the most invigorating roller coaster because it is a 3-time #1 record holder. The last category is the length category, which I think to be the most important because even though you can get the thrill from the other ones, you want that feeling to last as long as you can. So the longest roller coaster right now is the Steel Dragon 2000 in Japan that has over 8,133 miles or feet of track, and it's about 4 minutes long. With this said, I want to say that the second and third longest track length coasters last longer time-wise than this roller coaster, but this is still the #1. So to sum it all up, in learning these records, you understand why coasters are being built the way they are, and that is that they're constructed this way to break the previous record to appeal more to the public. And we all judge what is more thrilling and exciting or appealing to us differently. But I think in knowing all of these unbelievable records and the history of how they've changed, roller coasters have changed over the years, it's safe to say that roller coasters are indeed exactly what people need in order to get that excitement out of life.